So we have a start of the Division III second eights. Closest to the screen is Ithaca. Next to Ithaca is going to be Wesleyan. Then in lane number 4 is going to be Williams, and the top of your screen is going to be St. Mary's. So now as they're coming toward us, Ithaca will be on your right, Wesleyan next to them, Williams, and then on the far left will be St. Mary's. So it'll be interesting. Williams, they snuck right at the last 250 meters of last year's championships. They won this event. They took it away from Tufts, who we just saw in the previous heat. So those two boats and those two teams, we were talking to the Williams coach. I was like, do we say a rivalry or do we say just healthy competition? And she's like, there's going to be a lot of good racing. But Wesleyan and Williams, those are going to be the two middle boats in this race. Williams is slightly favored, but we were talking to the Wesleyan crew and they said, we like to just race. We want to race hard. We want to surprise people. So they might be surprising Williams.
Williams is a crew that historically in this division, in Division III, has taken a number of national championships over the years. They have in the past won 9 national championships. So to see them on the race course in the position that they're in, having won this event last year, is something that historically for the program they are used to. But within the coaching iterations that they have now is not necessarily. They've won those national championships actually under at least 3 different head coaches. And so now just continuing to carry on that legacy with new athletes, new coaches, not literally this year new coaches, but relative to the history of the program, newer coaches.
So we're in the second 500. Ithaca has those yellow hats just to the right of the screen. Right into the middle of the screen, that is Wesleyan, and then Williams is the top left of the screen. So Williams is starting to move away from Wesleyan, but there's lots of contact. They're in the second 500. The water's a little rougher, but now we've got a clear shot of how Williams is just taking charge. They're attacking, but Wesleyan still has that contact. And then there's a slightly different, tiny bit of contact between Ithaca, which is the right hand on your screen out of lane 2. So Ithaca is going to try to hold on to Wesleyan, and Wesleyan is going to try to hold on to Williams, but we're starting to see that separation with St. Mary's coming in fourth.
Sure, and that as we're across 750 meters, so we're deep into the second 500 of the race. It looks as though Wesleyan there, you can see them in the red and black unisuits, had some sort of move maybe planned during that segment of the race, or maybe they just found their base rhythm as they got into the second 500, because it looks like they're just taking inches on the early leaders of Williams there in the race. Ithaca is there as well in the picture in those gold caps under the direction of now new head coach but longtime assistant coach Beth Green. So they're right in there for one of those top 3 spots. Top 2 go straight to grand. So there's a lot on the line here. If you come in top 2 in this race, you're going to go straight through and have one less race on your legs by the time the grand finals roll around. I mentioned Wesleyan looked like they maybe had a mid-second 500 move there that pushed them back up into Williams, but it looks like maybe Williams answered or at least held. From a coxswain standpoint, what do you want to see if you're in that boat, Mary, if you're in the Williams crew?
Well, if I was in Williams, you're in the left-hander screen. Now we're into the third 500. You have to hit the reset button. You definitely want to tell your crew that, Wesleyan is moving, but this is what we're going to do about it. And giving them, and that's the secret about coxing, right? You want to give your crew information, but you also want to tell them how to respond together and make sure that you're rowing your own rhythm, your own race.
And out there as these two crews continue to lengthen away from the rest of the field, it does look like Wesleyan and Williams are the two crews that are putting themselves kind of setting the standard in this race, in this Division III second eights race, as the two that want to go through in top 2.
Coach of Wesleyan, Pat Tynan, yesterday, he really talked about this is his 16th year with Wesleyan. And of all of the time he's been here, this particular squad has been one of the most fun to coach. And particularly this boat that they have, this second 8, has pushed the entire squad and has really carried their program into being incredibly competitive this season. They've had some different lineup changes here and there, but it's consistently always pushed the envelope. So I think in this situation, they're used to chasing people down. They're used to being tough, using that resilience and knowing that they can throw down some speed. So that Wesleyan crew is definitely trying to chase down Williams. They've been in this position before as far as trying to push the envelope, but it's definitely these the top two that would qualify them into the grand finals at this point as they come closer to the last quarter of the race.
Yeah, the other thing that Coach Pat had said was that this is one of the most fun crews that he has had. And that is really, I think, making the fun part of the focus for the team is really part of their success. And, he has been at the helm for 16 years. And for him to say, hey, this is the most fun that I've had coaching is really a testament to not only to his level of growth, but to how he views, what this sport is all about. And as we've talked to the athletes throughout this championship, and we'll be able to get a chance to talk to some athletes and some coaches throughout the next couple of days, and hopefully bring them to the broadcast as well. What we have found is that the focus and the closeness of the athletes, but the chance to get to really enjoy what they're doing out there through their training is part of the key to this success. And Wesleyan has found that is really, really something that is a hallmark of their program this year. In this 2V, interestingly, Annabelle Miller, she's the 6th seat in that boat. She is part of the para rowing program for the United States. So really kind of a cool opportunity for one of their athletes to succeed at the national level. And she came over from the soccer program, and now she is on the rowing team and sitting in that. Sorry, she's in the 5 seat. Annabelle Miller is and representing the U.S. on the para team. So pretty cool stuff. So here they go. This does look like Williams continuing to hold on to that top position as they wrap it up here. I see the finish line flag up, and it will be the Eats across the line. A little bit of open water for them, just ahead of the Cardinal, and back to them by about 3 lengths or so of open water. It will be Ithaca with those bright yellow hats. That is one of their kind of lucky charms for the NCAA championships. And then closest to shoreline, it will be St. Mary's from Maryland. St. Mary's, one of my favorite crews. Those athletes, just so much fun to talk to. They have so much spirit. And man, those are some just smart girls too. When we were talking to them yesterday, I've got a lot of STEM majors, neuroscience, biology, biochemistry, to be able to succeed as a student athlete and as a top tier athlete. Man, that is just so impressive. And here they come, St. Mary's out of Maryland in this second heat, of the second 8 for Division III.
And very exciting for those top 2 who qualify into the grand final out of this, Williams and Wesleyan, actually inverting the seed originally, putting them into this final. So that's a big vote of confidence for Williams as they head into the next spot, but also some fuel for the fire for Wesleyan.
Well, that's what we saw throughout the whole season. There was a lot of people beating each other and then getting another chance to answer back. But this will be the final answer, and we will see who crosses the finish line first for the last time of the season.